As we wandered through the shade of trees along the path of the river, a moment seemed to stretch into a day, and a day turned into a moment. It was one of the only instances in my life when time seemed to cease. I was not aware of the past and didn't care about the future. All that mattered was right then, that moment. To be present while I was with Jesus felt so natural, not because of anything that I did, but because I couldn't help but to soak up every awe-inspiring moment. I'm usually a slightly awkward fellow, feeling the need to fill any extended silences. But with Jesus, all I wanted to do was watch every move, every expression, everything He did. There wasn't enough space in my head to think about insignificant things like silence. He was a man. He walked like a man. But somehow in everything He did, He moved like God. I was so obsessed that I almost missed what He was saying. Do you remember the prayer that I put on your heart as a young man? It is the prayer you have prayed more than any other prayer through the years. As I dived into my memory, He patiently waited. Do you mean when I realized you were all that's worth living for? That you were the purpose of my life? Yes. But it was not you that realized this. It was me who brought it to reality in your heart. Can you remember the words you would pray in light of this? Yes, I would ask you to do whatever you have to do in my life to make me yours, because you're all that's worth living for. That is what I have done since you began to pray that prayer. Whether through pain and sorrow or pleasure and joy, I am doing whatever it takes to help you live for me. And most of the time you learn much better through the pain of defeat than you do through the joy of victory. But all things have been working together for the ultimate good in your life. That has never ceased. I knew this. Ever since I had read Spurgeon on the subject of God's sovereignty, and Romans 8:28 came alive to me, I knew it. Whether I was put through great joy or great sorrow, there was hope because Jesus was using it all to mold me for His glory in my life. And that is what I desired, or at least that is what most of me desired. I desired to be a courageous man for His glory, and I knew I couldn't do that without Him changing me. And although I knew this already, it was different hearing it from the mouth of Jesus Himself. Hearing His gracious tone gently pouring out was like hearing a stream of water after a long, dehydrating hike. I let out a sigh of relief in recognition that I was close to water, and in this case, the living water. I stood dumbfounded, amazed. But even in the middle of great amazement, somehow my heart came back to a place of unbridled anger again. I knew it was foolish, but I had much less control over it than I wished. The anger had grown over the years without my knowing. I was so ashamed. I knew the only means to make it go away was to get answers. Shame made me sheepish, and I stuttered. But why didn't you help me with my dream? Which part of your dream did you want me to help you with, Garrett? Jesus asked with a gentle smile. I wanted you to help me become a big-time musician, I said in frustration. Wow, that sounded selfish. Maybe because it was selfish. And why did you desire that? Now I could tell He was leading me somewhere. He was asking me these questions to teach me something. I remember Him using that technique in the Bible, but I wasn't quite sure where He was going. I wanted the world to see your beauty as the music and message spoke to their hearts. Contemplating, wanting to come up with the words that would truly describe what I meant. I wanted to have the greatest impact on the world I possibly could for your glory. Yes, that was exactly what I meant. It came out right. As I looked up to hear his response, there were no words, just one of those, I know something you don't smiles. You know the kind. But for the first time in my memory, I had no negative feelings toward the bearer of that smile. Exactly, he said. What? I was more than slightly confused. Showing you will be much more effective than if I told you. Jesus put both hands on my shoulders and spun me around, causing me to face the opposite direction. In the place where a mountain stood just a few moments ago, now was the location of the most amazing 4D movie I've ever seen. I say 4D because it was so real. It was as if what was taking place in the movie was really happening 20 yards from where we were standing. Every sight, every sound, and even every smell were consistent with what was happening in the movie. I thought to look for the source of the amazing technology I was experiencing, but I quickly remembered I was walking in a field with God. DVD player? No need.